The reason you don't have a girlfriend is because of the kind of men we have in today's society. Weak men. And as you know, weakness ultimately transacts or transmutes into actions of cowardice. The kind of men who would convert their sexuality for the sake of a little sniff. I'm gay. Then 2, 3, 4 years down the line, they make advances. I thought you said you were gay. I'm bi. So those are the kind of people. Imagine someone who would adopt duplicity, change his sexuality for that white. In fact, there are two ways to get women. Listen very carefully because you guys are extremely lucky. I didn't learn this out of a course. There was no some interesting, intelligent, charismatic, confident, 6 foot four, sun god Ra teaching me on how to get women. So you guys are extremely, extremely, very, very lucky in that regard. But there are two ways to get women. The first, spend your time chasing women. Hello, how was your day? Have you eaten? Or you become the kind of person, you invest your time in yourself and become the kind of man women chase. It's a decision you have to make. Decide which kind of man you want to be. And majority gravitate towards the former because the entry point is as easy as possible. Individuals rather text a bitch, compliment on her profile, bombard her with thousands of texts than go work on themselves. The latter takes pain, discipline, effort. The latter requires you to make certain sacrifices in the short term against the long term. The latter necessitates you sacrifice every single thing: alcohol, women, party. It appears in the beginning stages as though you're sacrificing every single thing, the end goal, in order to get the end goal. For example, you're sacrificing women in the short term in order to get women in the long term. You're sacrificing alcohol, you're sacrificing parties in order to attend better parties in the future. Now you grasp the concept. Let me give you an insight to how women think. First, they don't. Yes, women don't think. Women don't think because unfortunately, I believe every woman they stop growing when they attain 15. As a woman, once you've attained the age where you're able to market your sexuality, it becomes very difficult to grow. In order to grow, you require two things: consequences and pattern recognition. So consequence of your action facilitates growth. Don't put your hand in the plug. Don't put your hand in the plug. Don't put your hand in the plug. I want to. You put your hand and it burns you. Chances of you repeating that action are in the single digits. Pattern recognition. You do something previously, it doesn't work out. You switch on you switch on a device, some gizmo, it turns on. It means there's power. It's plugged to a source. It doesn't turn on. It's most likely there's no electricity flowing through. You have learned. So one of the ways to learn as an individual, the concept is not limited to women alone. One of the ways to learn is pattern recognition and consequences. Unfortunately, when you can market your sexuality, those principles melt like wax before sun. Why did you push down this base? Well, it was not my fault. You know what? You're right. Let's go upstairs. You have round board. Although you broke my $3,000 base, it's not your fault. It's my fault for putting it there. Let's go upstairs. Over time, like every muscle, it is built consistently. You notice this pattern across women. They never take responsibility for their actions. It's always someone else's fault. Someone else's did them wrong. It's always his fault. Why did your last relationship fall through? It's not my fault. That's how they operate. I wanted to use the word think, but they do not. So that's how they operate. Once you understand the psychology of women, you get less upset of how they operate because you understand that is their biology, that is how they are. But now you should have understood the tenants that help you achieve success with women. Sometimes the secret to be seen is to be hidden. That's life. Life is filled with hidden contradictions. The road to heaven seems like hell, while the road to hell seems like heaven. It's a decision you have to make for yourself. I said before you life and death. I said before you blessings and curses. I can't force you. I can only advise you. Choose life. Even Jesus didn't impose salvation at the expense of your eternal damnation. I come to the door of your heart and I knock. I don't barge in. I'm creator. I'm the kings of kings. You must accept me. No. It's the same psychology you adopt when chasing a woman or when speaking to a lady. You're not there to audition for approval. You're not there to please her. You go in with the mindset to connect. You go in with the mindset to bond. You're like a king. And ultimately, the same way people can reject Jesus, if you get rejected, it's not catastrophic. It's part of the process. She's not into you. You should be grateful you dodged that bullet. In fact, if a woman judges you based off of how you look or how you present yourself, especially when 90% of it is attached to finances, is that the kind of person you want to be with? This is no excuse to remain a mediocre or to remain small, to not pursue higher versions of yourself. Ultimately, when you are in your grind and the woman judges based off what you can provide, that's not where you want to be. If Jesus can be rejected, the kings of kings who was sent to earth to die for your sins, then who are you? Once you're rejected, you move on. You do not chase. Do not disguise persistence or clowning as a romantic gesture. The same way a king doesn't sit at tables he isn't invited is the same way you shouldn't stay where you are not wanted. Imagine a lion pursuing a deer for days, decades for some. It's a very disgusting sight. It's impossible. So do not do it. Do not do it. And you'll be fine. As always, my friend, it's a pleasure speaking to you. I'll see you in the next one.